Hey everybody, this is James of Rattlesnake Defense. Today I want to go over with you something that amuses me a lot, and it's one of the scarier words I've seen the media throw around lately, and that's ghost guns. And no, they're not haunting up my place. First of all, a quick explanation about exactly what it is we're talking about and what a ghost gun really is. Right here beside me I have a 80% polymer Glock frame. This comes with the bits of the frame here to put it together and make it work. It comes with drill bits and it comes with a jig. And what you do is you place this in the jig and you finish removing the materials to make this fully functional, and then you install everything else. And essentially what you do is you finish it yourself. So because this is something you made yourself, it doesn't have to have a serial number. It doesn't have to be registered to the ATF or anything like that, and that's where the ghost part comes in. Technically it's not on the books, it's not in the system, but that doesn't necessarily make it any different than any other Glock anywhere. Another thing I hear a lot about, this is a 3D printed AR-15 lower. You could make these yourself at home. This one is completely polymer. And again, because you made this yourself, as of right now, it's perfectly legal to make a gun yourself. You can own it. You can't transfer it, which means you can't sell it or give it away. It's your gun that you made yourself. But that brings me to a wider issue. They don't like any of these because they don't have serial numbers. They're not registered. They're not in the system anywhere. But again, as most of you know, I work at a sporting goods store in West Virginia, and as a pro-gun state, we don't have registry in West Virginia. This is something we run into a lot with customers wanting to have a gun registered in someone's name or out of their name into their husband's name, or they got a divorce, they're afraid that someone's carrying around a gun, it's in their ex-husband or wife's name, and that's just not the case. West Virginia doesn't have a registry, so when you check a serial number, there is no database that shows that it's your gun, or anybody else's for that matter. So, you know, the police will pull you over, they can check your firearm, they can look at the serial number, and they can make sure that it's not stolen. That's the primary purpose of that here in our area. Now, different areas have different laws, different municipalities, and I understand that, and you need to consult your local law enforcement and find out what the rules and regulations are in your area, but I want to explain how it is in my area. And the main thing is, if a crime were committed with a firearm and they find the firearm and now they want to know where it came from, the process for that is that the ATF would contact the manufacturer of the gun. So let's say for this one the example would be Glock. Glock then tells the ATF who they distributed the gun to, a distributor, a wholesaler. The ATF would then contact that wholesaler. They would say, where did you send the gun? They would check their records and they would say, okay, they sent it to my store. So I would get a phone call from the ATF and they would say, you received such and such pistol with such and such serial number on this date. How did you dispose of it? And I would go back, I would check my records, and I would report to the ATF that we had sold it to this individual on this day at this, you know, and for the most part, that's the end of it. As it turns out, several years ago, I was actually someone that was involved in one of these traces. I bought the gun, and I very much expected someone to get a hold of me and find out what I did with the gun, which I could have told them where it was and what I'd done with it, but no one ever contacted me. So, you know, you can take from that whatever you may. The main thing is we don't really utilize the serial numbers that are on the guns to begin with. So having people homemade guns without serial numbers, I feel like it's not that big of a deal. It's just a scary word and something people say, and a lot of people don't understand what all that means. There's so many misconceptions about the gun laws that it blows my mind, and a lot of people are scared to death of all the blue tape and regulations and everything, and really, at least in my area, there's really not that much. We don't have a 3-day wait or a 5-day wait or anything like that. You can come in, and if your background is clear and there's no issues, you can come in and you can walk out with a firearm the same day. So we have all the records of every gun we've ever sold, as do all other dealers. And if we need to, we can report to whomever we need to report to what we did with any specific firearm. But no one has access to that information but us, as far as the guns we've sold in our store. So, there is no central database where this gun has your name attached to it in some way. Again, at least not in this area. I'm aware that there are states that require to register handguns and other guns. We're not talking about those. Here in this area, there isn't no kind of registration, and then there's not even really a statewide stolen firearm database. So when someone comes into my store to trade a gun in, I have no way to check and even know if it's stolen. So, that's another thing that a lot of people don't understand. Each police department works independently to try to find a gun that's stolen. So there is no one big system here. And whether you think there should be more systems or less systems, that's absolutely up to you as an individual. I personally, as a gun dealer, wish I had access to a stolen firearm database of some kind. I wish there was some kind of a registry for that. I would like to see more people's guns that get stolen, recovered, and returned to them. So, on that note, that's all I got to say about this. These things aren't really any scarier than any other AR-15 lower, other than the bureaucracy you have to go through to get one. Nothing about this makes it more or less dangerous. Actually, it's probably not as good as the one you would buy from me. So, take this information with a grain of salt. This is just my opinion, but I just want to let you guys know what I know and share my knowledge, and I hope that helps clear some of this up. So, if you have any further questions, hit me up. Thank you very much for watching.